think that took care of it. All right. I think we're ready. Is everything good? Let me see your comments. Let's see. We're on here. And I'm not seeing comments. So I guess we'll see how we go. All right. Okay, I think we're good. Let me move the comments. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Do you all agree? Let me move over. Let me just shift everything a little bit. I had the camera so it would get down a little bit further for you all to see close up. So give me a minute. I'm going to adjust this arm so we can move this up just a little bit. And we'll get that in the camera. And hopefully that will take care of everything. All right, let me tighten everything down. My apologies, everyone. Hang on. Now we're getting it. There we go. Now we're getting it in focus here. Let me see. So sorry about all that. Let me get this off my screen. All right. Let's see if I can get it straightened up some. Let's see. Woo! All right. Hang on. It's moving around. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get back in the camera. All right. Okay. I think we might be good. Let me move everything out of the way. And, okay, the book's a little crooked, but that's all right. Okay, my apologies. I owe you all. I told you Tuesdays are a comedy hour. So if you need some laughs, you just have to come this way. You know, so, all right. I think we are good to go. I don't see any comments coming through, but I assume they'll come on my iPad. Hopefully they will. If not, y'all are just going to have to, I'm just going to have to wing it. So hopefully that I'm showing live. So I guess we're good. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just checking my camera. Okay. Sorry about that. That only took 10 minutes. All right. This evening we are working with the Merry Moose stamp set that carried over from last year. And this is the stamp set. This is the coordinating punch that you can purchase through my online store. And the July code is right here, so you have until the to the end of the month to make your purchases. Now this is found on page, hang on a second and I'll tell you. I didn't buy this last year. This carried over and I really liked it and I just didn't get it last year. So I thought, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and get it this year. And so I did, and I absolutely love it. Here it is. It's on page 27, and it does come as a bundle. So if you purchase the stamp set and the punch, then you do get that as a bundle. It's $31.50, and that is taking a 10% discount. So it's got 17 stamps, photopolymer stamps that come in the set, and then of course you get this cute punch. So that makes it a lot easier. So that's what we're going to be working with tonight. And before I go forward, those of you who emailed me and asked to get a catalog, if you haven't gotten one, let me know. I'm mailing them, putting them out in the mail tomorrow. If you haven't emailed me, you can email me or Facebook message me, and I'm putting them in the mail tomorrow. So just to let you know that. And that's for the holiday catalog. And then one other thing, and then we'll get started. I am going to start offering holiday classes next month. They're going to be online, obviously. The first month, we're going to do the gnomes, gnomes for the holiday. I've already got those cards designed. I'll put more information out on my Facebook page this next week. So be aware of that. It will come with all the materials. I'm debating if I want to add the stamp set or have it as an add-on. And I'm going to try to do as much as I can without any stamping. So I'll keep you posted on that as well. So anyways, let's get started on the Merry Moose. Now, one of the things that I've been seeing, which I'm sure you all have as well, is the slim cards, slimline cards. And they're just a longer card or a taller card, depending on how you do it. I mean, how you're going to design it. And I thought this would be something different that we can do. Now, I looked at the envelope punch board to see if we can make envelopes for this, but unfortunately it's too long. So if I had cut this down a little bit, we could do that because I was going to give away an envelope punch board. But it doesn't fit, but it does fit a business size envelope. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to make 2 of these. We're going to make this one here, which I thought was kind of a nice Christmassy. It's kind of a snow, cold looking day out. So we're going to make this one first, and then the next one is going to be a different design. It's going to be a tall one. Okay. So let me give you, it's a very easy card actually. So let me give you the measurements. I'm going to put this off to the side. We're going to be working with the rectangle stitched dies as well for our sentiment. We're going to be using this smaller one right here. Okay, so just to let you know the other things that we're using with this. Okay, so we're going to start out with a thick piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that's going to measure 7 by 8 3/4. 7 by 8 3/4, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to fold this in half, and this is Whisper White. So I've got it scored. You're going to score it at 3.5. So it's a good size card. Which I thought it's good if you want to do like a nice scene, like a nice winter scene or whatever kind of a scene that you want to make when you're doing your cards. So the only thing is that you just have to put it in a business size envelope. All right, so we're going to score it at 3.5, and I'm burnishing it with my bone folder. So that's our card. So the second one, we're going to do it this way. Now, I wanted to use the Merry Moose tonight, but I think I may do this again because I really saw some nice ideas where you could do flowers going up the card and everything, and I thought that was really nice. Okay, so the second piece that we're going to use is a piece of smoky slate, and this is going to be 8.5 by 3.25. So it's 8.5 by 3.25. And this is to allow us to give it that little bit of a border. Okay. I'm not going to put this down yet because I like to do everything at one time. So that's the second piece. Now, if you were going to put designer series paper here, that would be the same measurement. So the second layer is 8.5 by 3.25. Okay. All right, and then the next piece that we're going to be doing, and this is what we're going to create our scene on, is a piece of regular Whisper White. Now, the card base is thick Whisper White, and this is 8.25. I'm sorry, yes, 8.25 by 3 inches. So 8.25 by 3 inches, and this is going to be what we're going to stamp on. All right, so I'm going to set this off to the side here. Now, this piece, we're going to be working with, let me get all my stamps out here. We're going to be working with the trees. There's 2 size trees in the stamp set. So we've got a smaller tree, and then we have a larger tree. So we're going to work with those. Let me move this out of the way. And then, of course, we have our moose, which is the outline. And then we're going to come back and color him in with the fill-in. So that's a 2-stepper. And we're going to be using soft suede for the moose. And then we're going to use basic gray, and smoky slate to do our trees. So the smaller ones I'm doing in the basic gray, and then this one is smoky slate. This one's smoky slate, basic gray, smoky slate, and then this one I stamped off with smoky slate. So that's how I've arranged the tree. So that's what we're going to start with first. So let's go ahead and open up our ink pads. We'll get everything ready. So this is our basic gray. So we're going to set that one right there. Let me move the moose out of the way because we don't need him just yet. We're going to do our trees first, and then we'll do our moose. And then we're going to open up our smoky slate. Okay. So we're going to put those there. Now I'm going to start off with my small tree, and you can stamp off on the edges if you'd like. And I think I might, I may do that so it doesn't look so sterile. Okay, so we're going to use this is smoky slate and this is basic gray. So I'm going to start out with my basic gray. I think what I'm going to do, I've got it at an angle. I think I'm going to go ahead and do 3 trees. So I'm going to stamp one off a little bit, and this is full strength. And we're going to do it, we'll put one a little bit higher. And then we'll do one more. I'm trying to get this thing straight, and I'm having a hard time. I put it on the block so that it would, I could get a better handle on it, but I think I may have to change that. So let me just get my simple chamois opened up here. Give me just a moment. All right, so we've got the, we're going to do 3 little ones. So let's go ahead and pull in our, we're going to do the smoky slate now on the larger one. So we're going to go ahead and put that one right about here. All right, and then I'm going to do, you can't see, but I think I did, no I didn't. All right, this one, we're going to pull this one up just, let's see, let's pull him down a little bit, even if the moose is going to walk around there. All right, so there's that one. Now we're going to come back with our small tree in our basic gray, and we're going to do a small tree, trying to put them so it looks like they're in the backgrounds. All right, of course he's leaning, he's a little crooked, but that's okay. And then we're going to come back with smoky slate again. So let's go ahead and put him up a little bit higher. And this one we're going to do a little bit lower, but I'm going to stamp off just a little bit and just give it a little bit a lighter, I'm trying to give it more of a wintry look. All right, so there we go. There's what we're doing with our trees. Okay, so let's close up these colors so we don't get the ink all over ourselves. Let me move these out of the way. All right, so we'll push those over there, put these in the simple chamois. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our moose, and I've got some scrap white here, so I'm going to push this over there. Now, the first thing we want to do is pull in our Memento Black. We want to outline in Memento Black. And since this is linen, I always stamp, and then I kind of do a little twisty just to make sure I get all of his things covered, because the moose is a little bit bigger, and you want to make sure you get his antlers in there. So since we're going to punch this out, I'm just going to put one here, and then we'll do another moose. And this is really an easy card, and you can design this any way that you want, I was struggling with the second card, and I'll show it to you when we get done. My girlfriend, I asked for her opinion. She didn't like it. I thought, oh, Lord. And I was running, getting down on the time here. All right, and then I'm going to two-step. I'm going to stamp these with the soft suede. I may stamp off a little bit because they did come out a little bit dark, but I think mooses are dark anyways. Okay, so this is the body of the moose that we're going to use here. So we're going to go ahead and get him some ink on there. But anyway, so she didn't like my design. So I thought, well, I'm just going to do it anyways to show y'all what you can do or not do. And then I thought, well, I'm going to make another one. So I did come up with another picture. So, all right. So now we're going to line up. And for those that are new, you just want to, and the nice thing about the photopolymer stamps is you can see right through. So bear with me just a minute. I want to make sure I get his body lined up before I push this down and get his antlers. So you got to turn it just a little bit to get everything lined up. And then we're going to pop it in right there. All right. And he didn't come out very good, did he? Not very good. I didn't do a good job of that. This is a little bit too dark, so I'm going to stamp off on that one. Hang on a minute. Let's do that again. He didn't want to stamp off. Whoops. All right, let's see how this guy goes. All right, and we'll just stamp another one because we've got room on here. So let me get him. This one's going to be a lighter moose. So let me try to get him. This is the hardest part right here, is trying to do this while you're standing up. Okay. That's better. He's got a little white on there. He could have snow on his head. So let's stamp another one. Let's do another one because I don't like that guy. He's got too much white. So let's stamp this guy one more time. See, that's the nice thing. And I really like the punches. It makes things so much easier sometimes, Then you have to get up and keep going to the die cutting machine. And I'm sure y'all are aware, the die cutting machine, the large one is available for demonstrators to purchase the first August 4th when the catalog goes live. And then for customers, then you all get to purchase it on I think it's September 1st, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that actual date. Okay, so we're going to ink up this moose one more time. And I think I'm going to stamp off again because I think he's a little too dark. So let's try and see if we can get this one lined up. We want to get his ears or his antlers lined up. We've got to get his tail and get his legs in there. And I think that one might be pretty good. So let's try that. And then we'll punch him out. So this is, actually it is, there we go. Yes, pretty good. So it is a really easy card to make. All right, so let's close our ink and we'll move on to punching out. Now this will, when you punch, if you're not familiar, you will have a little bit of a border. So I'm going to hopefully hold this where y'all can see it and I can see it. You're going to see where you've got to line up, And then you got to twist just a little bit. Once you get it lined up at the bottom and you got his button there, but see his antlers are a little off. So you just got to kind of turn just enough to get it without, you know, cutting off part of his body. And there will be some white around it, and I think that's going to look good. So I'm going to go ahead and punch that out. And then we'll do the next one. So we're going to do the same thing. This will line up right underneath his belly. And then from there, what I do is I just hold the punch down just enough to hold the paper. And you can see I need to twist it, right? So I want to bring it over so I can get his tail in there. And I want to get his antler in there because I don't want to chop off his antler. And I think that looks pretty good. It's a little tight right there. Let's move that over just a tad. And you know, you can't get too much. You can't get crazy about perfection with this because sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So we're just going to punch that one. So, all right. So now we have our 2 mooses. See, I told you this would be a pretty good, pretty quick card. All right. So now we're going to bring in our card pieces. And let's go ahead and, oh, the last thing, sorry, we got to do our sentiment. What am I thinking? I've already cut out the die. Let's go ahead and get our mooses put on here, and then we'll do our die with our sentiment. So I am going to put 2 Stampin' Dimensionals on each of the moose, backs of the mooses. Let me flip this guy over, and we'll do our sentiment in just a minute. So we're going to put one there, and we'll put one on there, and then I'm going to use 2 mini glue dots. Dimensionals. I'm going to put one on each antler, and that will help keep everything popped up. And I think this might have come in one of my paper pumpkin boxes, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I'm going to put any on his legs because they're not going to fit. So we're just going to use 2 mini dimensionals. Not too many as too many, but 2 as in TWO. Comedy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put our moose on here. So I just pushed my thumbnail in the center to pull off the backings. And then these little mini dimensionals are pretty easy to take off. So we're going to go ahead and place, because we're going to have him walking through the forest. So we'll put one right about there. You can put these wherever you want to put them. All right, and then we'll put our card together, and then we'll add the sentiment last. All right, and then we're going to put this little guy. I think we're going to put him up. I don't want to put him up too high because then he's going to look like, well, put him right here like he's in front of these trees. How's that? All right, so we've got that. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our Tombow, and we're going to add, I probably could have put those on after I attached this to the card, but it's okay. I'm going to use my Tombow, which is the green glue, liquid glue. And, you know, this is really, you all hear me say this every week, I don't like it. But, you know, it's only $4. That's a good deal because it really does go a long way. All right, so we're going to take that and we're going to attach that to our smoky slate piece. And we're going to have a little bit of a border. And I will say that I do like this glue because if I don't get it straight right away, I do have time to move it, which I do quite often. So give me 1 second. Let's move him down just a tad. And then make sure that he is straight. I think that's probably good. Okay. All right. And I'm not seeing any comments from y'all, so I'm not sure why that's not coming through, but it's okay. I'm sure that y'all are leaving comments for me. Make sure that you share and share. Okay, so now we've got that. So we're going to bring in our thick Whisper White card base, and we'll go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of that. So again, we'll put some glue on this. All right, and this is really, it's just a little bit taller and smaller, not as wide card, but it's nice if you want to do a scene, and it takes, you need quite a bit of room for that. So I think that's kind of cool. All right. So we're going to lay that on there and make sure hopefully it's as straight. All right, so we got that on there. Very good. So let me move this out of the way. All right, so we got the card done. Now, as I said before, I went ahead and pre-cut the stitched rectangle so that I didn't have to hold you up for that. I'm going to stamp that in smoky slate. It's going to be a light sentiment, but I think it looks nice. I think the basic gray might be a little bit too dark. And let me find my sentiment. It's here somewhere. But where did it go? Hang on. That's for the other one. I know it's right here because I had the daggone thing and I moved it out of the way. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so we are going to stamp this, and it says that it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And this is Smoky Slate. Now you can do it in the basic gray if you want to. And I'm just gonna make sure I got it right. We're just gonna put that on there. I'm gonna let it sit for just a minute. And okay, that looks good. So let's close this up. And then we're going to add, I'm using some of the, now this is gray granite, the ribbon. This is the shimmer ribbon, which is a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. I'm going to use my, I'm using snail because I haven't used it up, so I need to use it up. And I'm just going to fold the ribbon. I'm just going to fold it like that and lay it on here so it glues it down. Let me lift it up just a little bit because I don't want it that wide open. And this helps to hold it in place. Hang on a minute. All right, so we're going to lay that there. And then we're going to put 2 more dimensionals on the back of this. Let me find them. Here we go. So we'll put one on top of that to help hold that down. And then we're going to put one right here. Okay. All right, so we'll peel this off and peel that off. And then we have our sentiment. Whoops. Oh, almost had our postage code stuck to the card. All right, so we're going to lay that right there. We're just going to put it right there in that corner. And there you go. So what do you think about that? Isn't that a cute card? I think it looks very wintry. I'm sure I probably could have done something down here to give it more of a snow effect. But I thought that's a pretty nice card, and just pull out and use a business envelope and it will fit perfectly. I didn't put anything on the inside. I'll wait and stamp that later. Oh, and then one last thing I forgot. Can't forget that. We're going to put one of our metallic pearls, which are silver. I'm going to put one right there. I thought about putting 2, but I didn't want to overdo it. So we're going to put one metallic, like gray. There you go. There's our finished card. Isn't that cute? All right, so that's the first card. So let me move this out of the way and clean my stamps for the next round, because we're going to be using this stamp set again, because I really wanted to use the mousse set. So if you get the stamp, you can look at some different ways of using it. All right. And if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, you should do so. You can do it right on Facebook, or you can go to shallwestamp.com, and that will keep you abreast of everything that I'm doing in my stamping world. And okay, so the next card that we're going to make, let me push that out of the way, is going to be using some of our, now these are Christmas colors. Let me get the card out. Hang on, I got to get my inks together. Let me move everything off to the side. We are going to be using, this is one of the new Plaid Tidings papers that we are getting in the holiday catalog. And I am doing a paper and ribbon share, so if you're interested, I'll put the information up on my Facebook page tomorrow. Okay, the first round will, you have to sign up for the end of July for the first round. Okay, and then we're using this piece right here of designer paper. It's Cherry Cobbler and shaded spruce. So that's what we're going to use in our card. And then this is the card that we're going to be making. Let me move the paper out of the way, and I'm going to show you what we did. I'm cheating because this paper is only 6 by 6. All right. And I'll give you the measurements on this as well, which should be the same, but this one's got some designer series paper to it. So this is going to be a little bit different. All right, so let me pull out my supplies. So what do you think about that? Isn't that a cute card? I think that's cute. That's very Christmassy to me. Okay, so we're going to do a little finagling with the designer paper, since it doesn't come this length, right? It only comes 6 by 6. So we're going to do a little piecing together, and you won't even notice it. So let me pull out my supplies. We're going to be using the shaded spruce for the base of our card. And for those that are just joining, that one is 7 by 8 3/4, and you're going to score it at 3 1/2. All right, so let me move all my stuff over here. All right, we'll move this guy over here. Okay, so we're at 7 by 8 3/4. I'm going to fold this in half at 3 1/2, and we're going to use our bone folder, and we're going to do a little bit of scoring, or burnishing, I should say. Okay, so that's our card base. We're going to put that there. Now, since our paper, or our designer series paper, only comes 6 by 6, what I did was I cut it 3 by 6. All right, so I cut it 3 by 6. Now keep in mind it's 6 by 6, so we can easily line up the pieces to it. So I cut this at 3 inches by 6, and the other piece is going to be cut at 3 inches by 2 1/2. And if you notice, look at that. See, I can just line it right up, and no one's going to know the difference. And it's going to be, the seam is going to be hidden because our paper is going to be over top of it. So isn't that right, clever? All right, so let's go ahead and add this piece. And the back side of this is black and white. This paper, this paper is really pretty. This is Cajun Craze and Bumblebee. There's some cherries. There's some, I think it's got Highland Heather. It's got cinnamon cider, mango melody. It's got all sorts. But there's black and white, there's gray and white, and then all sorts of different colors on the inside. So not only would this be holiday, but this could be, you could use that plaid paper for making mail cards, you know, shirts or whatever. So it's just not going to be for the holidays. So that's going to be a, you know, one side's holiday and the other side's not. So that's some paper that you could keep and use all year round. So we're going to go ahead and go ahead and attach our piece of designer series paper, our plaid tidings. So I'm just going to lay this up here, and hopefully I have it straight, and make sure I move it over just a little bit because I got a little bit fatter border on one side than I do on the other. So let me move it just a little bit. Hang on. Now I've got it crooked. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can lift it up. Hang on, I gotta get my bone folder. That's a little, I mean, I don't mind it being a little crooked, but this is a little much. So if I can pull it up without messing it up, I'm going to move it. We'll see. If it's going to create a problem, then I think it is. So we're just going to leave it. Just leave it like that. That's okay. It's a little cockeyed, but that's all right. No big deal. No biggie. All right, so now this one, see how that's going to line up just like that? Now, I may want to trim this a little bit because obviously it's because I don't have it straight. So let me just trim this. I'm going to trim this just a little bit, not much at all. It's going to be like not even 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to cut a smidgen. So we'll just cut a little smidgen off. I think that's enough just to keep it from hanging off the edge of the page. All right, so we'll put that back. Don't you love those little things, those little paper trimmers? Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so let's go ahead and put some adhesive on this one. And again, this card will go pretty fast too. I've got everything pretty much cut out because I didn't. All right. I don't like keeping y'all late. But thank you for joining. I really do appreciate it. And I'm back home, so I'm sure y'all are happy about that, except for I still have issues. But, you know, what can you say? All right, so really, if this wasn't crooked, it would look pretty nice. So I've got a piece of cherry cobbler that I've cut at 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, and that's the piece that we're going to set here. And then I have a scrap for my mousse. And then the Whisper White piece is 2 1/2 by 5, so that's going to go right there. And then I did 2 circles. I did the 1 1/4 circle inch of the Whisper White, and then 1 1/2 in cherry cobbler, and we're going to stamp our sentiment on this. Okay, and then we're going to use some of the gold. Let's see, this gold is the Wonder of the Season Ribbon Combo Pack. It's got this really pretty, look at this green, just the jade. Oh my gosh, look at that. I don't even know if you can see it. It's beautiful. If you can see that, I'll take it out. The paper, it's a real wide, and then it comes with a spool of this gold rope. So that's what we're going to use, the gold. But that comes in a combo pack, and that's part of the Wonder of the Season ribbon combo set. All right, and if you, this is part of my ribbon share as well. Okay, so let's get this back in the bag because I haven't labeled them, so I don't want to get them lost in the shuffle here. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do on this one is we are going to stamp our trees, and we're going to do the shaded spruce again because that's what our cardstock is. So let me move this out of the way. So I'm going to pull in my big tree and my small tree. And however you want to stamp, I'm going to do the big ones to make them look like they're in the background, so it kind of gives it that effect. And I'm going to stamp off. So this one I'm just going to stamp right about here, put him off just a tad. Move that up some. And then this one, I'm going to ink it up again, but I'm going to stamp off because I want to give it a lighter shade. I don't know if I stamped off enough for that, but we'll see. And I'm going to move him up just a little bit. So we're going to stamp that one right about there. It's a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to come back full strength, and I'm going to bring the tree, a larger tree, down and stamp him off a little bit on the side. And so we stamp him right there. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with the two smaller trees, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put him straight because he's driving me crazy. I thought it would help me, but it's making it worse. So let me get him on my block straight. And you know, you can always use your grid paper to help too. I think that'd be better. All right, so this one I'm going to go ahead and stamp whoops, if I get it inked all the way up, we're going to stamp this one full strength. And we're going to put this one right about here. And then I'm going to not ink it again, and I'm going to put this one up here so it looks like it's kind of behind that one. Okay? So that's all we're going to do on that background. And again, I could use Wink of Stella and put some little glittery so it looks like he's got some snow or it's glistening. But we'll leave it like that for now. Okay. And let me get my sentiment. All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is now we're going to do our moose again. Let's put that right there. So we're going to bring in our scrap. Now this time we're going to do the moose in crumb cake so he won't be quite as dark. So again, we're going to ink it up. Did you all buy this stamp set last year? Those of you that have been around for a while, or are you going to get it this year? Let me know. All right, and then we're going to pull in our crumb cake, and let me get that out and bring in the moose's body. Okay, and then we're going to shift him around a little bit. And the crumb cake's a much lighter, I got to stand up for this one. It's a much lighter shade, so this will just give this moose a different look. All right, so we're going to line him up again. We're going to hover over our moose and make sure our legs are in there. And I'm using this finger here to try to hold it in place. And it looks pretty good, so I'm going to just start going down, and I think we're good right about there. So we'll press him down. All right, and pull him up. Well, you know what? It kind of looks like he's got snow on him, so I'm going to leave him like that. I was off just a little bit, but that's okay. It's no biggie. All right, so we're going to pull in our punch again, and we're going to line him up. So I'm going to use this, since this is bigger on this side, I'll use this to try to maneuver to get him punched. So let me get this in here. I'm gonna hold it like that. Let me look at it for a minute. I think we're a little too much here. Yeah, I got the color off his antlers, and I don't want to cut off his tail. So give me a second. All right, and this one's a little low. I know. You got to make sure. See. If I don't move up his antler, it's going to get cut off. So that's why you got to kind of do a little twisty. You want to make sure all of his antlers and his nose and everything is not getting chopped off. So we'll have a little bit of white. I think that probably looks pretty good. That little guy thing hanging down has got to go in that little, there we go. I think that's good. That's something, oh wait, his leg's out of the way. Hang on. I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I think we're good. Let's move him up just a tad. There we go. I think we're good. So let's go ahead and punch that one out. We don't want to spend too much time on trying to get the guy straight. Okay, so there's our moose. All right, so now we can build our card. And this one, again, is pretty easy. So we're going to attach our Whisper White piece to our cherry cobbler using our Tombow. And then we'll put this on here. I hope y'all are enjoying this. If there's anything that y'all want to see, any type of card, any kind of fold or something, let me know, or a certain stamp set if I have it. I'll be more than happy to, do what y'all would like to see. Okay, so we've got that on there. Now I'm going to put the moose. Again, we're going to use dimensionals for him as well. Let me grab those. My husband's cooking popcorn again. He does it every Tuesday when I'm on this thing. It drives me crazy. All right, so again, we're going to use our little mini dimensionals on his antlers. So we'll put that there. All right, and then we'll put him down here so he looks like he's walking in the forest. Now, if you want to make this a night scene, you could easily get your sponge brayer or use your regular sponge, and you could have sponged a background to give it a night effect, to make it look like it's nighttime. So I'm just going to place the moose right about here so it looks like he's getting ready to head off. He's going somewhere. All right, and then we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. So let me do that, and then we will be done. And then I'm going to show you the other card that I made that my friend didn't like. It's okay, but I was trying to use some of the different colors that are not your normal holiday colors, and it just, I don't know, it just wasn't working. So, but it's okay. It's all right. Okay, so let's pull these little guys off. All right. So if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a catalog, just Facebook message me or email me and let me know with your mailing address, and I will. I'm going to be putting those in the mail tomorrow. And if you would like to place orders and you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. And there's my shopping code. And when you use that, then you get a gift from me in the mail as a thank you for shopping with me. All right, and we're just going to place him on here. It's not high, low, or whatever. I'm just placing it. I am going to put the sentiment up there, so I'm going to lay this probably right about here. All right, and then we're going to come in with our cherry cobbler and our Whisper White. We're going to bring in our cherry cobbler ink and our punch. What did I do with my, hang on a minute. I just had the little, oh, here he is. Had to clean him up. All right, and we're going to use the stamps in here that says Merry Christmas. So I'm going to stamp that right about there. All right, and that way it coordinates. All right, so we are going to add some, I'm just going to throw my snail on here because it'll be just quicker. All right, so we're going to place that on the dot on our circle, and that is the 1 1/4 circle. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. You never have enough dimensionals, right? You get 300, and I think they're what, $4 or $5? There's 100 on a page. All right, so we're going to put that up here, and we're going to place that at the top. And I'm going to put it a little bit off-centered, probably in the left-hand corner. For some reason, I always go to the left. I'm not sure why. Maybe that's because, I don't know. That's what I do. All right, so we're going to place that right up here in this area. All right, and then we're going to take our gold rope and we're going to make a little bow, and we're going to tie this, and give me just a minute because I'm going to tie it, and then we're going to pull it, make it smaller. So bear with me just a minute. So we're going to get this thing tied and then get it taut, and then you hold the knot and then just start pulling on the your bows, I guess, whatever. And because this is a small one, we don't want to have a really big bow, or a bow. So I think that looks good. So let's go ahead and we're going to trim this off. So let me just cut a little bit of these off with my snips. And then we're going to use a glue dot to hold that in place. And I'm just going to use my finger and kind of roll it up. And I'm going to place that right here underneath the moose, the Christmas. And we will, hang on, it's not tight. So let me make sure I get it really tight because I don't want it to come off or get loose before the person receives my card. All right, I think we're good. So let me just tighten it a little bit. Let me pull this down just a little bit. I think it's a little, there we go. I'll have to trim, let me trim these up once. A little bit more, they're a little bit too long for me. All right, so I've got the glue dot right here, and I'm just going to set my bow right where the knot is, and I'm going to set it right on there and push down. And there you go. There is our other card. This is a holiday card. Isn't that cute? So there's the one card that we made. Here's the second card that we made. Let me show you the one that I made initially. And I want y'all to leave me your comments. And I really want, I'm going to clean up my table here. I really want your honest feedback of what you think about this card. Okay, you ready? All right, so this is this card. I think this is nice, and this is the long version. So you can do it long. I know there's a delay. And then here's the winterish one. All right, and then here's the one that I made that my friend did not like. And I don't know, it might be the color. It could be, I don't know. But I did the Shaded Spruce, and this is Bumblebee, and I ran this through the Woodland embossing folder. It's the one that has the trees, like the birch trees. And then this is some of that plaid tidings paper, and this is Cajun Craze. So I pulled that in, and then I used a new piece of, it's one of the new ribbons that's in the winter catalog, and then I punched out my two mooses. Well, she didn't like it, and then I put Merry Christmas Moose up there. She didn't like it, and I thought it was okay. I think it's the colors. I think if you redid this in a different color scheme, I think it would look a lot nicer. So I think it has to do with this, and I think it's too much yellow, actually. But anyways, that was the card that I initially made that was given the no, do not, like in the Gong Show. It got the gong, which was not good. And they were pulling me off the stage with a hook. So anyways, that's the one that I made that didn't pass the cut for tonight. So, all right, ladies, thank you so much for taking time out of your Tuesday to spend with me and watch my shenanigans. As always, it's always, you never know what's going to happen when you come to spend time with Shall We Stamp. So there we go. All right. Thank you once again. If you need anything or have any questions or if I can help with anything, please let me know. You can reach me by messenger or email next Tuesday, and I will be coming to you again from the villages, and it's hot here. So that's all I can say. All right. Thanks again, ladies. Have a nice evening.